What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. A couple of days ago, I made a video criticizing the Mega Evolution system in Pokemon Go, and ended up coming up with a solution that we should simply not do Mega Raids in Pokemon Go until we end up seeing a huge overhaul to the underlying structure. The main complaint being that the cost to be able to obtain a Mega Pokemon temporarily as well as over time is extremely high, but the benefit is just simply not there. So there needs to be a change updated to that. And I think a lot of people are in agreement of that. As far as the support on the video is concerned, you guys absolutely smash the like button. You left a ton of comments, which I definitely appreciate. And I feel like to some extent, as far as this criticism is concerned, maybe I'm kind of leading the pack on it, at least from a content creator perspective. And as far as a follow-up video is concerned, I just genuinely didn't expect to make one, especially so soon. Here we are 3 days later, and we've got kind of like the second saga to this entire thing that's going on. And in this episode, I'm going to kind of refer to it as the bounty, because that's what's being put on a Mega Pokemon. If you haven't heard about it, we will of course be talking about it, but it's all centered around Mega Pidgeot and what Niantic plans to do for the month of September centered around Mega Evolution Pokemon. And I will say this, they're at least consistent in their message, and unfortunately, who knows how many months of content that they already have planned out, and regardless of what we tell them, they're not going to be able to adjust it quite yet. So I will of course go ahead and put in that disclaimer. But anyways, I want to know what you think about the Mega Evolution system in Pokemon Go, so make sure to put it in the comments section below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So let's go ahead and dive into the details of this event. I'm going to go ahead and give my predictions, and then we'll talk about one of the featured Pokemon, Mega Pidgeot, as far as its stats are concerned, and then unlock this Mega Pidgeot. 2 million raids, which is just insane. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily equates to exactly $2 million. It's probably a little less, because some people will, of course, use the free passes if they can, or use the 3 free conveniently timed remote raid passes. And then secondarily, with the pricing of remote raid passes, you can technically get 3 for $2.50. So who knows, what's it going to be, $1.5 million, something like that in revenue generated in the game. Realistically speaking, I think that that's a pretty conservative bet. But the time window that we are going to have to do this is going to be from September 1st to September 7th. So Niantic has graced us with a week to be able to go out there and do these 2 million Mega Raids. Now, as far as my thoughts are on this just seems like such a cash grab yet again. And as far as the benefits are concerned, is Mega Pidgeot even good? Of course, we are going to be talking about that as well. But the interesting thing centered around this is when they say get out there and do 2 million Mega Raids, what you're actually going to be doing is doing raids for Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard, doing Pokemon like that. And they are technically not going to get you any closer Mega Energy wise to getting yourself a Mega Pidgeot, which means you're simply unlocking it, and then you're going to have to go out and do even more raids for these specific Pokemon, since Mega Energy is Pokemon species specific. Blastoise gets you Blastoise Mega Energy, Charizard gets you Charizard Mega Energy, and then eventually this Mega Pidgeot will of course require those gifts. But we had an hour or two where we just simply couldn't do it. But guess what? We've still managed to hit the goal. Now, how is that possible? There have been many times throughout the longevity of this game where there is no way that we could have actually been able to hit the goal, but we did. Which makes me think that these goals are just arbitrary events that are just going to be completed no matter what, despite actually being completed. So in this particular case, we could go out there and not raid 2 million Mega Raids and probably still end up getting the Mega Pidgeot, because they are just going to say, you know what, it's probably too hard to track exactly how many there are. We're just going to say, roughly cut it up into 7 days and say that people are making progress towards that. And then people, of course, will get excited about that. But the secondary thing that I'm kind of interested in is seeing when they are going to tell us as far as the progress is concerned. Is it going to be on a day-by-day basis, or is it going to be at the very end of the event? Now, a little bit of a strategy as far as that is concerned. Why would Niantic be incentivized to wait to the end of the event? Well, let's say, for example, that we get out there and we end up doing 9 million Mega Raids. But, of course, since they're not actually tracking it, we don't know that. And then they wait to the end of the event, and instead of saying, you went out there and did 9 million Mega Raids, you absolutely crushed it, they may just say any longer than that. But we're just going to see what Niantic planned to do in the first place. So I am very interested in that. Of course, that is going to be a little bit of speculation on my behalf. It's going to be a prediction, but I can't wait to see what they end up doing with this. Now, the other two Pokemon that are kind of mentioned here are definitely a little bit more of some kind of cases that I think make a lot of sense. So we could potentially unlock the Mega Houndoom by doing 275 million battles. What do they mean by battles? Do gym battles, Team Go Rocket battles, trainer battles, things like that. That's just task-based. That means get out there, play the game. Of course, you are going to have to use your Mega Evolved Pokemon to be able to do that. So then again, you know, technically you're having to still go out there and Mega Raid and stuff to get enough Mega Energy to Mega Evolve it, to then go out there and do this task. But at least we've got some resources like with the Mega Beedrill, where if you haven't used it yet, you could go out there and get a couple of battles done with that. So I don't think that this one is as bad as the first one, is basically what I'm trying to say. And then the third and final one is one that a lot of people are just, you know, going ahead and saying that it is of course going to end up being the Mega Gengar, which is just going to be crazy. So spooky to be able to do this. Of course, it's going to be centered around the month of October for Halloween. But as far as that is concerned, it's going to be centered around putting your Mega Evolution Pokemon as a buddy, which we talked about that being incorporated as a system already, and that's been a huge speculation for Mega Pidgeot. So we've got this Mega Pidgeot here. Now, as far as the stats are concerned, 3,400, I mean, that is a major upgrade from the regular Pidgeot, but how good exactly is it going to be? Well, there's a lot of estimations that it's actually going to be one of the best flying type attackers, but here's kind of the problem centered around it, at least initially speaking, and it's all about the moveset. So in order to become one of the best flying type attackers, it needs the best flying type moveset for it to be able to pull that off. And for it to be able to pull that off, it needs the move Wing Attack. The issue is that Wing Attack is a legacy move, so not a lot of people are going to have themselves a Pidgeot, of course, ready for that. And then as far as its charge moves are concerned, it really doesn't have the greatest charge moves. So because it doesn't have great charge moves, it really needs a very good fast move. And Wing Attack is that answer, but it is a legacy move. So in that particular case, I don't think that the value is necessarily going to be there for this Pokemon. Now, simultaneously, it is also going to get that extra bonus damage added on because of it being a Mega Evolution Pokemon just in general, and it's going to end up boosting normal and then, of course, flying type as well. So in that regard, it does have some value to it, but when you talk about the price tag centered around this, I think it would be very hard to find anybody out there who would wholeheartedly believe that a 2 million Mega Raid bounty is a justifiable cost to getting a Mega Pidgeot. Now, if it were something like crazy, like the first Mega Legendary that we've ever had, I would say yes, go out there. People are going to go crazy because there's going to be the perceived value for that. But with Pidgeot, I mean, come on. They basically just didn't release it in the beginning and went ahead and put the starters and Beedrill out there, but let Pidgeot out for an additional opportunity to make additional money off of it and just not put it in the first wave. Once again, it feels like a very intentional tactic. Maybe I'm reading into this too much. Maybe I'm overthinking it or being too smart about it and giving them too much credit, but I can't help but think a corporation that makes hundreds of millions of dollars a year is not making these types of bad decisions by accident. It feels like these are very intentional, but I would love to know what you think about it in the comment section below. What do you think about the bounty on Pidgeot? Do you think you should call it that? I don't know. I mean, just let me know anything and everything that you think about this Mega Raid system. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, there will not be a third saga to this whole video series, but knowing Niantic, it may end up being sooner than later. But regardless of that, I will see you next time. Huge shout out to the supporters over at Patreon. If you would like to get exclusive perks, make sure to check out that link in the description, and I will see you next time.